one and only true Lord, in Amma we trust, in Amma we think, and in Amma we will continue forward forever as the Republic of Intellect. This is Cindera Mendez, the talk show host on tonight, and today's date is January 5th, 2017, on a Thursday evening, and the topic that we're going to be discussing tonight is going to be about financial economics and how to achieve financial freedom. Also, this is a 45-minute talk show, and I wanted all my listeners to know that I will give an overview of the topic towards the ending of the show, so I will open up the lines for any questions, comments, or concerns, or any suggestions. Also, Intellectual ꜰɪᴜᴜᴜ, he usually comes on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, and sometimes on Saturdays. His starting time is at 10 p.m. This is the time that he will be starting for this year. And I wanted to give him thumbs up on his recent broadcast, which was on Wednesday. His topic was on Stop Being Black, the answers to the so-called black people's problem. And I thought it was a very enlightening and thought-provoking broadcast that he did. So I wanted to give him thumbs up on that. And also I want to wish all my listeners a happy new year. And I hope that, financial, management or, financial achievements will be a part of your New Year's resolution. So I hope that you get something out of this broadcast tonight, and I hope to spread some, enlightenment on the topic tonight. So the first thing I want to talk about is financial management. So the question is, what is financial management? So when I thought about financial management, I said the easiest way to understand what it's all about is to look at it from three perspectives, which is all E's. So I looked at it as effective methods of financial management, efficient planning for financial management, and executive goals for financial management. So thinking of those three E's had made me define what financial management is. So when you think about effective methods of financial management, what comes to mind is budgeting. Usually when you have an effective budget and you go off of your budget and you are managing your finances from that, it can be very effective when in terms of getting things paid and getting things done when you follow out a budget. Also, when you have efficient planning for your income that comes in, when you already have your budget set out and you understand the income that's coming in, it allows you to plan for your income. So when you have everything set in terms of your expenses or what's going to go out, and then you are aware of what's coming in, you can plan then, because now what happens, whatever money that you have left over, you can now invest that money into something, greater, or to open up another stream of income. So having an effective method and you following that will allow you to have develop efficient planning for your finances. And then having executive goals. So when you are executing all of your financial goals and you are making things happen and you are on the right path in terms of managing your finances, you can then now understand what your net worth is. And your net worth is not so much about, people Google celebrities and they find out their net worth. A net worth is basically like a balance sheet. You have your assets and you have your liabilities. Your assets is usually your financial and tangible assets, which is all of your income that you have coming in or anything that you can profit from. And then your liabilities is usually your expenses, and usually it can be from having a fixed expenses from variable expenses. Fixed expenses is basically money that you know that is going to constantly come out from month to month. And then the variable expenses is the ones that, it's unexpectedly. It can be a miscellaneous expense, and that goes under that category. So that's like a balance sheet. So when you subtract, all of your assets and, your liabilities from all of your assets, you can now determine what your net worth is. And if your liabilities is more than your assets, you are now what we call a deficit or surplus. A deficit is basically when you are in the negative, meaning you can be in debt, and this is how you find out your financial well-being. Because if you're in the negative and you have more liabilities than you do expenses, that's how you can determine your net worth. Now, if you have more assets than you do liabilities, then you are in the surplus, which means you are in the positive, and that's money that you have left over to be able to spend and to be able to invest in or to save up for another stream of income. Okay, so having different methods of budgeting and financially planning is a way for you to have control over your finances and being able to manage it, and then executing your financial goals is a great way for you to be on a successful path. So moving along, I also want to mention about becoming debt-free. The importance of becoming debt-free is that you can build up your credit, increase your savings, and then have a better financial health, as I said from the beginning. So usually the reason why I say becoming debt-free is important because you have to think about your credit score. Your credit score says a lot about you and how you manage your finances and how you are able to pay back money that is loaned to you and things like that, or when you take out a credit card and things like that. Your credit score is always affected by all of that. So building that up is also important, but most of all, paying it off is it puts you in a great path when you trying to get yourself from out of debt. Now, for those people that are into, some people might go on hard times financially, and sometimes, credit cards go to collection agencies or services that you had going to collection agencies. You still have an opportunity to still pay off whatever it is that you owe on a month-to-month base. And it's not good to just ignore whatever money that you owe, because it's not going to go away. Your credit score is going to always be there, So it's always good to acknowledge it. Whether you take out a personal loan, a student loan, or you taking out credit cards, you need to be very sure and aware of why you are applying for a credit card and what is the purpose of you having a credit card, opposed to you just applying and then having like 25 different credit cards, and you have a credit limit that you just went over that's about like $3,500, hypothetically speaking, and then now you got to pay back all of that, off, So, it's very important that that you be sure when you apply for these credit cards of why you are getting it. And usually, it's, in my opinion, I think it's best to only have one credit card, especially if you are a youth and you are in either your teenage years, like 18, 19, or in your early or late 20s. I would say having one credit card will be great to have, instead of having, different credit cards, whereas you have to pay all of these, types of credit cards off. So that's one thing. And two, you have some people like, people that are that do big investments and things like that, and they get into financial binds, and usually a lot of times people will file for bankruptcy. That is not a good thing to have on your records in general. I don't care if, some people say, okay, it's going to be on my records for 7 to 10 years. It's still not a good look to different companies, when you really want to take out a loan to either start a business or something. So going bankrupt is not a good thing to, be in the predicament to be in. Like, I understand that some situations may call for it, because sometimes you might get financially out of control, and what happens is that, you may have to apply for it, but the goal is to not get in that predicament. And then in order to be financially healthy, I think the best thing to do is to always buy your things out, opposed to trying to get credit or getting a loan. So usually I would say, like, let's say if you're saving up your money for something that you, like a business that you want to ultimately have, or, you might want to take your life savings or whatever the case might be and invest in something that's great. So usually I would say that you want to just own it and buy it outright, opposed to just borrowing money and taking out loans and stuff like that. So that was my perspective on becoming debt free. And with that being said, we'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to go into community building and what it means to have a community economics. So first things first is working together in a community. With the so-called black race in particular, and I say so-called black race only because it's a way of mindset, not so much of color, but the so-called black race. Let's say we came together on one agreement, one goal, and one vision in terms of to build up economics in a community. We have to work together and put aside, all of our differences. And once we achieve that and we work together to build up the economics, and let's say we have, different business plans that we want to establish and come up with, we can now implement, and now we're now able to outsource to each other, where we can share our businesses amongst each other. And what happens is that when we do that, we can ensure building a community in terms of having a self-sufficiency, and then having structure within the community, and it progressing. So it also allows us to be independent in terms of making trades to each other and working for and by each other. And it will also ensure economic success. So that's, one of the things that can, possibly, happen within the community in terms of building economics. And then meeting the needs of the community that is fitting. So when you understand what the community needs, then we are now able to build our economics based off of that in particular. So it's all about financial freedom over financial security. Financial security is all about having a mentality of wanting to get rich, and that's not gonna establish a community. If you have a get rich and get yours mentality, that's not gonna be of any success, in terms of having a group of people working for each other and by each other and working together. So when we work together to establish financial freedom genuinely, then we can have some financial success within our community and amongst ourselves, and be able to be self-sufficient, So some of the things that I wanted to put out there is that, and this is aside from community building is that owning what you can control is the first aspect of developing a structure within the community. And the first thing that you can control is yourself and your finances, how you look at money and things like that. So that's something that should be of a goal to work on. And then the next one should be to it should no longer have like we should no longer have like a hustler's mentality. It shouldn't have to be an option, even though some people hustle to make money and to make things happen, but it's really a person chasing after money. So we want to eventually get to a point where you having money work for you and you don't have to eventually work for it. So usually a hustler is trying to find some type of financial security within their finances and their means of income and things like that. But they're gonna always you have to you have to be business minded, and in order to establish some sort of financial freedom. And one of the things that I've always mentioned is financial freedom is all about having 5 streams of income. And I've learned that over time personally, that's the only way you can be successful. And as I said in my previous broadcast, when I talked about financial wealth and difference between financial wealth and being rich, financial richness, I spoke about the difference between those two. But financial freedom has a lot to do with you building up different streams of income, and 5 being the most, in order to have that type of freedom. So now I'm going to talk about financial economics and how to achieve financial freedom. As I said, the 5 streams of income. You have to work on that, and that should be a goal, opposed to, you might have people that say that, okay, they want to work more than one job, and then they exhaust themselves to, have that type of lifestyle that they want to, obtain and, to keep, on the pedestal. You have some people that want to do that, and that's like you overexhausting yourself when you do that. So your mindset should be, okay, yeah, you got to have money to take care of yourself and your family, but what the next step should be, what's my next stream of income? And then you have to work from there to build up another stream of income. And then when you have that all set, and you have the money working for you and you're not always working for it, you're on the right path. And then the only way to acquire that, number 2, is working smarter in order to have money work for you. And thinking of ways, different ways to, have money come in, as your income. And then one of the mindset, like I said, you have to have a business mindset in terms of achieving financial freedom. And then you also want to get into the habit of being able to own things rather than rent. You don't ever get into the habit of renting things, because that, keeps you in a cycle of always, having to give money out, money always coming out, so you have to get to a point where you want to own things, buy it out, right out, opposed to getting credit for it or getting a loan for it. Just buy it straight out, so that's just a suggestion to put out there. And then, as I always say, you have to change your mindset about money in order to achieve financial success and freedom.